almost all of the questions that you have are the same one question. And that's why every time somebody asks a question, everybody else in the room could answer it, except you. Because Hashem gave us a gift as parents that when the question is negeya to our children, we totally freeze and black out. So we can train like Hatzalah, fantastic. Train what to do, CPR, we know the whole thing, we train, the kid's on the floor, what do I do? What do I do? Right? We freeze. It's a gift from Hashem, a curse from Hashem. It's from Hashem. And it's a fact. And that's why what's beautiful about group is that you could always ask everybody else, and everybody else sees clear. And when it's your own kid, why? Because it's so painful. It's so painful. And you want to feel like you're doing something. Right? How many of you have people that tell you, you're just going to do nothing? Look how busy we are, right? Look at this Rebbetzin over here. How busy are you doing nothing? 24/7. She sleeps maybe 3 hours doing nothing. A whole day she's busy doing nothing. Spending, buying, going, just tolerating, fixing, thinking. It's called doing nothing. What's called doing something? All the stuff that doesn't work. That's called doing something. And we're doing nothing. So the question, if you take away all the details of the question, and it's the same thing for you, we were talking before, and for everybody, the question is one thing. What is my tafkid? What am I here for? And it's so beautiful what you're doing, because you are the only people in your kids' lives. When you do TP, you'll see the friends fall away. They're never going to break away from their friends. They fall away. The boyfriend, the girlfriend, fall away. The job, unfortunately, falls away. The income, they screw up this way. They have a drug problem, a gambling problem. And the only people that they have in this world is Mommy and Tati. And the world is trying to get Mommy and Tati to also pull away, because you're going to fix them. As if you could fix this? You can fix dysfunction? Like, nothing else that holds the kids together worked. The school system didn't work. Hashem, Shabbos, Torah, community, future, happiness, all of that didn't work, right? They're totally sleeping till, you showed me, right, till 4:07 p.m. was the good morning. But you, being tough, is going to be mechanech them, and they're going to become better. Because you're going to not tolerate. Excuse me, in this house, we don't tolerate. I spoke today to a therapist. I'm traumatized. I need a therapist. I'm traumatized. And I'm traumatized because everything they're saying is so right. So your advice is to reward bad behavior? Someone's going to learn to be normal if you reward bad behavior. The parents are supposed to support bad behavior? Don't you think parents are entitled to have some rules in the house? And I'm listening to this. I'm like, yes, you're right. You're 100% right. But you're 100% wrong. I don't understand. They never tried this. Go ahead, sit down and give them the rules and tell them, in my house, you have to, whatever. But what happens next? If they would listen to the rule, I'm with you. They don't listen to the rule. So now you have to have consequences. Because if you have no police, then what do you have rules for? If you defund the police, there are no rules. So you can't defund parents. So now you have to say, okay, we spoke about it. You want to speak about it again 3 times, 4 times, 8 times, 10 times. But at some point you're going to say, I noticed that you're not listening to me. As patient as you want to be, you're not listening to the rules. Whether it's they smoke in the house, or whether they took your car, or whether they drink your alcohol, whether they sell your kidney, whatever it is that they're doing. They're doing stuff, they're not listening. You sat down, you notarized, we had a meeting, we had a contract, you did it. Do it. Now what? Has to be consequences. So now they'll admit already, just talking about it didn't fix them. So what's going to fix them? Consequences. You can't be mechanech a sickness. You can't make someone dysfunctional function. You can't take broken legs and say that if you're not going to run on the treadmill, I'm not giving you supper. It doesn't fix the tzebrachenkeit at all. And it's not, I don't think it's a machlekes in shita. I think it's a machlekes in reality. Because all of you tried that. So halavai, it should work. So you're going to give a consequence. You have to give the right consequence. Speak to the therapist and give the right consequence. If it would work and a week later you say, wow, this really worked, gewaldig. I was born in a normal family. I used to be normal. I know what it means. You give a consequence. You can't walk out of the house dressed this way. And if you do, I'm taking away this or that. A friend of mine is the head of Shomrim in Flatbush. He's the chief of Shomrim, and they have 20 chevra, and they're trained, and he trains them, domestic violence and all of that. They got a phone call, a young kid, ran away from home, suicidal, they don't know where he is, and what happened? They went searching for him. They find this kid, and he's walking with a knife. Walking in the street with a knife. So my friend goes over, and he says, hey, like from far, okay, what's doing? I heard there's a problem at home, something. Can I see the knife? Butcher knife. He took the biggest knife in the kitchen and threatened to kill himself. Okay. Very from yeshivish family, normal family, right? What happened? Get away from me, get away from me. He goes, no, listen, let's just, okay, put the knife away. You know, he sees the kid is freezing, shaking, it's cold. He says, come, I have an extra jacket. He gives him a jacket, starts to talk to him. What happened? My father took away my phone. Consequence. Anyway, he had to work on this. He went back to the father, you're going to give him back his phone. He told him, you're going to go back home, and I'm going to get you back your phone. He went to his father, said, you have to give him back the phone. No, it doesn't have a filter, or he didn't this, or he didn't that. He said, you have to give him back the phone. This is not going to work. And he worked with them, and Baruch Hashem, they went to somebody. So if the discussion would work, you wouldn't be here. Because you've had hundreds of discussions. If the consequence would work, you wouldn't be here. But what happens when the consequence doesn't work? So then they say, a bigger consequence. Person doesn't understand English. So first you bring out a little baseball bat. If it doesn't work, you bring out a bigger baseball. You got to explain it to them. Right? Until they understand. Beruchel bitcha haktana. In English, Berachel bitna haktana. Right? You have to really just explain it to them, because they not understand. Bigger consequence. You can cut off a finger. You can pick any consequence you want. Now, if it would work, I'm all for it. So what happens through this process of failure? They lose mommy and tati. They lose mommy and tati, they do more drugs, and they're more suicidal, and they're more sick, and they're more sick, and they're more... So what are we doing? Our whole goal is that no matter what this child does, we're going to be there. You're always going to have tati and mommy. You're not losing us. The respirator is connected. 2 respirators. Nafshay kshura b'nafshay. Deep in your heart, deep in your soul, we are with you. And everybody says, ooh, that's good, that's good. Yeah, now try to hold on to the ride. Every normal professional and expert on this roller coaster will advise you to let go at some point, because it is a terribly frightening ride. I mean, what you're going through now, you can write a book. I did. It's 1,100 pages. But you can write your own book. It's not normal. A year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you would say, this cannot happen. It's not normal, right? This is not shaykh. How could... It doesn't work like that. You can't be so broken. You can't be, 28 or 30, whatever, and act like a 5-year-old and renting an apartment with my friend. What's her last name? I don't know. You're renting an apartment with someone that you met in a bus stop, and you're going to live with them, live with someone, you don't even know their last name. The dysfunction, you can't describe. So everybody likes the idea of having parents who support the child, but they're always going to advise at some point, you got to let go. You got to let go. She has to grow up. He has to learn on his own. You're enabling him. If you weren't enabling him, where would he be? Where would he be? Because I think it's the opposite. I think that it's an ego to think that parents can fix this. You can't fix it. You can't.
Most people say that the way it's going to be, it's not my business.
Well, it's very nice to say it's not my business, but yeah, well, no, to parents?
Yes.
So you mean they tell the parents it's not my business where your son will be? It shouldn't be the parents' business. Okay, so this is already not something that we can understand in our mind. We give our lives for our kids. Right, so today the therapist said, no, v'chai bahem, and yechayecha koidmin, it's all beautiful. So far, we never lost a parent. I hope that will continue. But it's painful. But it's more painful to us parents, normal parents, when your kid is homeless, your kid is in psych wards, your pasha get worse. That's my experience. I mean, so what is our job? Our job is to make sure that she knows my parents think I'm amazing. My parents hold of me. Now, it's a little bit tricky because every idea that they have is a stupid idea. It's just a dumb idea. So if the medicine is that you should tell them you're smart and they only make dumb ideas, it's very hard to do, and that's why it's so twisted. Because if you're going to be honest with them, then they're going to cut you out of their lives because you're a source, another critical source saying you're an idiot. So I failed the school system, yeshiva system, the shul system, the community, and now my parents think I'm an idiot. But they are making very dumb decisions. They're quitting their job. Your son, if he was able to, he can make $100,000 this year. It's more than you. I'm saying it's a massive job. And what do you have to do? Behave normal. He can do it, right? He has no, he doesn't. But he does. No, he doesn't. Because emotions are a part of us. He has the physical ability. He has the psychiatric ability to do the job. He doesn't have the emotional ability. So with one guy, he ends up on drugs. The other one, he ends up gambling. The other one, it's alcohol. They always, because they need something to numb their pain, they can't just function. You understand? 2 years, 3 years, he can have $300,000. And it has the best parents in the world. They'll pay for all of his living expenses. You don't even, or take 10, 20 away. Save up 80 grand, $250,000 in 3 years. Get a nice wife, get married, start your life, everything. Bankrupt? Can't do it. And the truth is, if they would be zoicha, it's scary to say. I don't know if I should say it. So I don't mean it for real. But to be zoicha on an x-ray to see a certain little thing in the brain, a little mark, everybody would understand it. They have it so much harder than cancer victims because nobody understands them. And everybody's constantly trying to give you advice and trying to show you and trying to explain things to you. Explain to a 28-year-old who's eating dirt, it's not good for you. Even if you do it right, with a smile. Shefala, it's not good for you. It's dirt. If any 10-year-old would understand that this is bad, then don't explain it to them because they don't see the world your way. Because they're eating dirt. Explaining things is the worst thing to do. Doesn't work. They either don't accept it, which is usually they reject your logic, and they defend it and say, no, it's not true. Let's say you would tell her, I don't think it's such a good idea to move into an apartment with a total stranger. Now, not only you don't think it's a good idea, if you took a poll, even Republicans and Democrats would agree that not moving in with a total stranger. Even more than that, the Israelis and the Palestinians would agree not to move in with a total stranger. There's nobody in the world that would say that it's a half-decent idea. Go ahead. Tell her, smart, wonderful, fantastic person, an adult, tell it to her. And the response is going to be, no, you're talking about, I don't know what's going to be, but it's not going to be, you're right. No, don't worry about it. No, I know her. Kind of. I saw her. She stood at the bus stop very nicely. You're always worried about me. Don't worry. I'm fine. It's never going to be, yeah, you're right. Why is that? Because, think about it, if she was normal, if she was normal, she would know it's retarded, crazy, stupid thing to do. So if she doesn't see that it's a stupid thing to do, then she can't understand it when you point it out. I spent a long time recently on a video specifically, you told me you watched it twice, right? Specifically explaining this point, right? If I think dirt tastes good, it doesn't help to point out, oh, by the way, you're eating dirt. If somebody doesn't understand 2 + 2 is 4, then it doesn't help to show them 2 + 2 is 4. You see, 2, 4. It doesn't work, right? Don't take the car. You're not insured. That's a sentence that every human being over the age of 10 understands. No, don't worry about it. No, it's fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You know you're not going to get into an accident. You know nobody's going to hit you. You know an old lady's not going to cross the street. It's going to be fine. Actually, the last 7 times that you took out the car, 6 times you got into a car accident. Right? Approximately. But this time, no, the bumper's already gone. The back bumper, the front bumper. If you had side bumpers, they'd be gone by now. But it's going to be fine. As if, I understand if you drove for 50 years and you never had a car accident, and one time you wanted to take a risk, it's dumb because you can go to jail and you can lose all your money. But okay, it's going to be fine. But every single time the kid goes out, he knocks over a mailbox, hits into a car, it's going to be fine because you're dealing with an empty part of the brain. That's what trauma does to our kids. And yet, if you ask them a question about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, about anybody else, they'll tell you exactly a shita, and they'll back it up, and they'll explain it to you. You may not agree with them, but logical. And their friends will call up and say, what dress do you think I should wear to my family's chasana in Williamsburg? And they'll say, you know what, you should wear the more tznius one, because you don't want everybody to look at you. They'll say that. And then they'll come in a bathing suit. That's our experience. So, therefore, we have to be very, very careful. Your question is gewaldig, but it's the same question as your question. And it's the same question as I was on the phone last night with the Eretz Yisrael family at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's the same question clothed in different stuff. We want to do everything for our kids. We want to save them. We will do anything. You parents will do anything for your kids. You will. You've proven that. We'll jump in front of the car. We'll take away the keys. We'll stay up all night. We'll take away their. We'll do everything, but none of that works. So you have to focus on holding yourself back and realizing that how are we in the picture now? Because we didn't mess up until now. We have to continue being in the picture. There's one choice that you have. You're either going to be in their lives as a source of support or as a source of pressure. When you explain things to him or to her, you're going to walk away with either one of 2 responses. Either they're not going to accept what you say, or they will accept what you say. Yeah, I'm such an idiot. I'm such a loser. I'm such a dummy. Yeah, you're right. And their self-esteem gets even more tzebrachen. And then you end up, because this whole issue is coming from a self-esteem, it's like the blood pressure drops more, you have a bigger problem. The self-esteem drops more, you have a bigger problem. So when you give advice, one of 2 things happens to a kip. They either don't listen, or they turn on themselves. I'm such an idiot. Yeah, I'm a loser. I can't believe it. Either way, you lose. You lose in the future. So what I'm saying is, zeh zaya pushit. If they have a high self-esteem, they don't behave this way, boost their self-esteem. Keep on boosting. Yeah, great idea. Fantastic. Sure. Gewaldig. Fantastic. You're so smart. Unless it's dangerous, like taking the car, unless it's going to hurt somebody, themselves or others, unless it's against your das Torah, unless. But this, most of the time, just boost it. Great idea. You're right. We should rent. Now remember, like I always say, 99% chance it doesn't happen anyway. So you end up boosting 100 ideas, maybe one happened. Meanwhile, you get boosting. The other parents, they're busy, I don't know, and they lose 100 opportunities to boost over stuff that didn't happen anyway. Usually doesn't happen. And if it does happen, it was going to happen, you're not going to stop it anyway. Fix the self-esteem as the root of the problem, like I spoke about the sewer pipe in the basement, the root of the problem. So the answer to your question is like this. You tell him, we are with you. Because more important than whether he'll do this or that is him knowing, I support you. I want to tell you a chiddush, Rabbi Isai, that I think you're going to say, that's a chiddush. For their future health, they're better off you supporting them and they make a bad mistake than you giving them the right answer and they listen to you. Even if they would listen to you and they make the right choice, they didn't build their own self-esteem. It's better now at this point that you're in that they should make the wrong mistake with you saying, great idea, very smart. Better, because then they're building the muscle that they need to recover from the damage that was done to them by trauma and abuse and all of that causes them to be nobody. Go to somebody you respect. Think about it, your Rav, your Rebbe, your spouse. Nobody was thinking that. But okay, your spouse, your uncle, and go to somebody you respect. In anything, it could be the lady who bakes the best challah. It could be anybody that you look up to. And go to them with an idea. Just imagine, you go to them, I thought of an idea, I want to make cinnamon raisin challah, and I want to put with whipped cream on it, any idea you want. Anybody. Go to your roof. I have an idea, I want to make a shiur and Talmud Devaira every Friday, any idea that you want. And your idol, your person that you look up to looks at you and says, it's not a good idea. And tell me how you feel. Imagine he looks at you or she looks at you and says, psh, what a great idea. What a great idea. And tell me how you feel. Don't let the idea being bad ruin that feeling that changes people. It is a bad idea, I agree, and that's why we hope it doesn't happen. But it's that baking it, what a smart, you're so smart. It's not a kid's to do it when the kid is smart. That's easy. Anybody can go to somebody smart and, who has a smart idea and say, you're so smart. It's the chacham, the navain, that can go to somebody who's right now broken and has crooked ideas and fix their inner brokenness without lying. And say, you're such a smart guy. You're so smart. And you're not lying. And some people get it and some people don't. You're not lying. Lying doesn't work. You really mean it. I know what my tafkid is, and this is my tafkid, and I really mean to say, you're so smart. By the way, a lot of ideas that they have that are stupid in our world. But their brains are smart, they're coming at it from a whole different place. It's not necessarily that they're not smart. We have to learn how to do it and how to mean it. And I'm not a liar, but in Home Sweet Home, they used to come to me with very bad ideas, and I would smile, and I would boost them. I'm boosting them. Why? Because if you boost someone 100 times, he feels better. He trusts you. He'll open up to you. We have kids in our group that are opening up to their parents. I got a call today. It took a long time. This is going on many years, way too long. I want this to go quicker. This is a father here, maybe 7 years. And the kid opened up about his biggest trauma. Other kids never open up about it. There are people who forever maybe never opened up. And we know a lot of the suicides and stuff like that. What we hear afterwards is they told a friend, but the parents didn't know. Nobody's really telling their parents. In this group, it happens. You have to be saved for a much more important tafkid than being the principal of this school. You can't, you can, you didn't, you took, you didn't, you did. I'm catching you, you can't, oh, you took money, you need more money. You have a much more important tafkid. You're the respirator. And there's nobody that's going to respirate your kids more than you. Because when Tati says, wow, what a good idea. You feel whole. You feel something inside of you. And Mommy says, oh, wow, I'm so proud to be your mommy. That's the medicine. That's the medicine. And you look at these kids a year later, that we want to pull them off the street. We're pulling them, taking away years of pain. Years of pain. And it's harder for the parents who made mistakes, not because you're bad, because people gave you bad advice, because we have to undo first all those extra layers that they don't think that we like them and we don't think you're smart and we were speaking very logical and we were telling you all the important things about life that built so much mistrust. You're digging that out. You're digging away through all of that with sure honey. Great idea. Such a smart kid. You're boosting their self-esteem because we have a crisis. When the self-esteem is so low, it's dangerous. So boost the self-esteem. Everybody knows kids with a high self-esteem have the highest chance of getting out of their problems and of having a little bit of zich, a little bit to say, a little bit of self. Maybe I'm not going to move in with a stranger, right? Maybe I'm not just going to go out with this 50-year-old man because he has a credit card. That's the world we're living in. That's the stuff that we're up against, and we're winning those battles because I have a mommy and I have a tati who believe in me. That's the difference very, very often between life and death, between drugs and not drugs. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to pull them out with nafshei kshur benafshei, with compliments and fun and using our tools. I hope I answered your question. If not, we're in big trouble.